My name's Adam, and this is my 1989 Toyota MR2. Had it for about 15 years, started full stock, and started autocrossing a long time ago in Saskatoon. I've done suspension, tires, brakes, did an engine swap. So it's got a 4th gen 3S GTE from Toyota Caldina. It's like a 90s MR2 engine, a 2-liter turbo, but just a little bit newer. 11.75-inch front rotors from a Miata kit that I custom fabbed to fit onto the MR2. And then the biggest rotors you can fit under a 15-inch wheel, basically. Normally the MR2 has a pretty robust cooling system because the coolant lines run front to back, but I was getting some overheating, so I did do an aluminum radiator mod and some shrouding, which made a big difference. And it also runs an aftermarket oil cooler too. Just run what you brung. Just get out here and drive whatever you have. Right? And it's all about seat time and experience and just having fun.
My name is Jerome, and this is my 2023 Subaru BRZ. So far, it's probably more closer to stock compared to what other cars are, because the only thing I've really done with this was add spring dampeners to make the suspension a lot more stiffer, both front and rear. And I've added a AccuSump into the engine just to help with the oil starvation issues that these cars usually come with. Right now, the capacity usually is like 5 liters, but I'm running 6 liters just in case. So the AccuSump can at least send some oil in case it ends up losing oil pressure on the go. And this is technically my second time here.
Okay. How'd you do last time?
Actually, it wasn't too bad. I had so much fun on driving here. And so I decided to come for a second run. As a first timer, honestly, for this track specifically, probably the chicanes. Dealing with the chicanes for the first time, because before we went to the track, it rained a little bit, so they had the chicanes towards halfway of the track. So being able to like downshift beforehand was probably my first challenge.
My name's Colin Spencer, and I own Motorsport Supplies and Speed Freaks. And Speed Freaks runs all of the open lapping events out here with instruction. We usually do 2 Sundays and a bunch of Mondays during the Monday nights from 5 to 9 p.m. during the weekdays, which we have on our website, which is speedfreaks.ca, not Motorsport Supplies. We opened up a new website. But yeah, today at the DMS event, I've got a 2014 Tony Kart OTK shifter. That's 49 horse and 15,000 RPM with a 6-speed sequential gearbox in it, and we'll try to break the record, which I think is a
50, right?
Well, I'm 3rd right now.
Oh, okay.
When we're separated by, the top 3 are separated by a 1.5 seconds. Well, I think I did a 52.8, and I've got to beat a 51.4, 8.4 or something like that from the Crowders. So, but the driver's 30 pounds lighter, and I've got new tires, and I took the sway bar off, and it's got a new top end, and I've sorted out some other little finicky things with the handling on this thing, and hopefully we can do it. So this is a lot closer to open lapping, even though it's a point-to-point competition. But this comes closer towards, you want to be smooth, and you want to, your eyes, where you look, will tell you where do you brake, where do you turn, where do you get on the gas, where do you yaw out. When you're coming into a corner, you want to, instead of looking directly in front of you like you're at an autocross, you need to be, if you're coming up to a corner, you need to be looking at the exit of the corner, because that's going to tell you where you're going to hit the brakes and where you're going to turn in and where you're going to turn out when you're on the gas. So, and then especially with the altitude changes through Eddie's S's, this is closer to motorsport driving than like open course, road course motorsport driving than it is to autocross.
Okay, I'm Tom. I'm racing my Civic Si at Dan's Stratoattack event here. I usually do more the mainstream stuff that uses SCCA classing, so my car is just prepped for that. I could do a million other things to it if I wanted to for Dan's stuff, but I gotta keep it good for my other events. They handle really well. They're light, they don't have that much power, but the new generations have turbos, so you're not just, dying with no torque inside of one of those K24s. It's a fun little course. This car is nice and streetable, so I don't find the bumps to be as bad as a lot of the guys with Stiff suspensions have a few issues in a couple spots. I put a new bar on this year. I've got a lot stiffer bar than I had last year, so it'll do that a bit more, but it's also a lot noisier, so I gotta put up with that. Yeah, so I've had a bunch of different cars since then, and this is one I've kept for quite a while. I got this in 2021, so it's 4 years now. And we'll see what happens next year. It's supposed to get, its class is getting a big mix-up, so it'll probably be a total dog in the class starting then, so I'll probably be running the Type R next year full-time. Just keep this as a good daily driver.
Hi there, I'm Jeremy, and this is my 1991 Miata. I started autocrossing about maybe July of 2022, I want to say. Then Dan's events started showing up. I started showing up because I just wanted to put this car through its paces. Ran on all seasons, finished pretty close to either the middle overall or the bottom of the list in raw time. And from there I got hooked. I started putting more equipment on, tires, suspension, coilovers, sway bars, intake, exhaust header, a lot of stuff that just keeps me legal in this class. And honestly, if you're looking to get into this kind of sport, just do it. Like, you just need a functional car to get in there, something that's in one piece and it drives and it doesn't feel like it's going to shit the bed if you try to push it and to any extent. Safety equipment, just a helmet, that's all. Like, people talk about getting roll bars from these cars, like it's not a requirement for autocross or even these track sprints. Track roll bars only if you want to do track, but autocross, anything goes. Just get a helmet that's approved and that's all you really need. These tires are on their 3rd year and I don't expect them to survive this year given that I still drive pretty hard on them. These are actually an alternative set that I use only for track and autocross, hardly for streets.